here it is, guys. Wood Elves versus Greenskins. Round 1 of the best of 5 final between Konos and Crusader. These two players have made very convincing victories to get to this point. And let's see how the two of them fare. So starting with our Greenskin player, we have Crusader. Now Crusader is going to be bringing... Okay, just make sure I have the colors right. 2 Doomdiver Catapults and 1 Hammer of Gork. He's then going to have the Broken Tusk Mob in the back here. And other than that, we will see a very, very large Greenskin army. So it's going to consist of 1, 2 units of Orc Biggins. He's then going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 units of Gobos, ranked up to 4 each. Aside from that, he will have 2 Night Goblins on this side, the Warlord Boys and the 8-Peak Loonies. One of them with Armor Sundering and the 8-Peak Loonies with the Unbreakable trait, since they're regiment or nouns. We are going to have 1, 2, 3 units of Forest Gobbo Spider Riders, each of them ranked up to 3. He is then going to have 2 units of Gobbo Wolf Riders that I can see as well. In the back, he will have a 3rd Big Gun placed. Wait, no, sorry. It's still just 2 Big Guns. Yeah, so still only 2 Big Guns. So a lot of mobility in this army. And I also take another thing back. It's 4 Goblin Spider Riders ranked up to 4. He's then going to have the Rusty Arrows here. And for his leader, he's going to go very, very cheap. And he's going to be bringing a Goblin Great Shaman. This Goblin Great Shaman will have Arcane Conduit, Wah, along with Vindictive Glare, Itchy Nuisance to debuff attack and weapon damage, as well as Sneaky Stabbing and Sneaky Skillin'. That rounds out our Greenskin army, a very large Greenskin army, coming in at 1,300 strong. Now our Wood Elves. In this Wood Elf army, we're going to see 1 unit Sisters of Thorn, 2 units of Wild Riders. He is then going to have 4 units of Way Watchers once again. We are going to see 2 units of Eternal Guard there, as well as an additional 3 over here, so bringing us out to a total of 5 Eternal Guard with their bonus versus large and armor piercing. And now for the heroes, another... Ooh, wow, this is a heavy hero force, but it looks like it's focusing on cheapness, so they can bring as many as possible. So we're going to have a Spellsinger of Life with Earthblood and Blessing of the Ancients. We are then going to have a Spellsinger of Beast with Transformation to Kadan. So Earthblood and Summoning Manticore seems to be the plan here, and then a Glade Lord here with nothing but Prey of Anathrema down on foot, and that will round out our forces. So good luck, have fun to both players. I am ready, and let's see how this breaks down. Alright guys, here we go. Yeah, I know, yeah. The last one must have been frustrating, man, because you were playing that really, really well. But here we go, guys. Going to see the Wood Elves pushing forward. They got their Way Watchers over here stalking. These 2 Eternal Guard pushing forward. And now we see the very, very large Greenskin army trying to pivot around. Now looking at deployment, both of these guys deploying kind of on opposite sides of the map. The Wood Elves using the forest to maneuver their Wild Riders unseen. And they're going to try to push forward this way, it would seem. The Greenskins look like they just want to get a front line form somewhere and let their artillery do the talking. And then they have all of these really quick units in the back line to dive down and help support the Biggins as well as the Broken Tusk Mob. I really like this too. It looks like our Greenskin player deploying his Biggins back here just in case there was some cheeky Vanguard so we could try to catch him out completely. But yeah, I mean, this is curious builds from both players, and well, I guess more so from the Greenskins than the Wood Elves. But I guess we'll see how it all pans out. Way Watchers aren't going to have a ton of juicy targets because there's not really a bunch of important units on the field. And over here, it looks like the Biggins and the Broken Tusk Mob haven't been discovered yet by these Wild Riders. And if these Wild Riders get surprised, a lot of damage could go down. These Wild Riders, while they're great, don't stand a chance against the Broken Tusk Mob. They're immediately going to pull out, recognizing they don't have a good chance there against Biggins as well as Broken Tusk Mob. And now they're going to start pulling back because the Way Watchers are going to show themselves and start firing away. And now the Greenskins, after that very indecisive skirmish, are going to pull back. Both of them realizing it's kind of par for the course for the 2 of them because there's artillery on one side, with some good units to take out the Wild Riders, but if the Greenskins overcommit and try to chase them, then these Way Watchers are going to have their way with them. So both players playing this very cautiously. It is the final after all, so happy to see both players playing this so close to the chest. Alright, Doom Diver Catapults are going to continue firing away, as well as the Hammer of Gork. And now that there's some Way Watchers out in the open, I'm thinking we're going to see targeting going there. And boom, man, those guys are accurate. It makes sense since they're flying into battle, but man, what cracks me up, Doom Diver Catapults. Alright, here we go. Way Watchers over on this end, now trying to kill off the Doom Diver Catapult as more Gobos go flying out of it. And the Greenskins are looking like they're coming here, forming up a defensive perimeter, keeping their Forest Gobos, their Forest Gobbo Riders and their Gobbo Wolf Riders very mobile, pushing around all sides. The Way Watchers are going to continue trying to kill off the Doom Diver Catapult, and it looks like they will start getting a rout there pretty quickly here. Gobbo's going to be diving up against the Wild Riders. Wild Riders are going to make mincemeat of them, but as they are paused, you're going to see these Gobbos diving in and just do pretty big attacks on them as they're clumped up. Gobbos continuing to push out this way, trying to screen the Wood Elves away, and right now, very interesting, way this battle's playing out. The Way Watchers are sniping out a lot of the key units here. Doom Diver Catapults, Rusty Errors. So well played to them at the moment. We are then going to see a Itchy Nuisance going down here on top of all of these guys. Itchy Nuisance isn't going to do anything but debuff attack and weapon strength, so not sure why that was used here when there's Gobbos on the field, but I'm going to see the first Manticore summon going down from our Wood Elves as well. And then here comes the Wah, which is being popped, and we're going to see the 8-Peak Loonies Unbreakable diving into this Wood Elf force, trying to hold it down, stall it. Orkbor Biggins coming into play as well. These guys should do some good damage against Wild Riders and the like. And then we have the Goblin Great Shaman here, standing in the middle of the field. Curious to see if we start seeing any vindictive glares going off here in the near future. Manticore is diving back here, trying to shut down the artillery from the Greenskins, because the Greenskin artillery has been doing a lot of important work throughout this fight. We're going to trying to get around, shut down these units from the sides. Looks like we're going to see the other summoned Manticore coming down right here. And bada bing, bada boom. Over here, though, Wild Riders starting to rout off due to the combination of these Biggins and the 8-Peak Loonies. So balance of power very much in favor of the Wood Elves, but I think a lot of that has to do with the summons on the ground right now. And both of them are out, so once those summons go away, the balance power should go back to even. But alas, enough talk. Here we go. The Warlord's Boys and the Broken Tusk Mob are currently in combat with the Sisters of Thorn. Sisters of Thorn have 40% physical resistance, so it's going to be very tough for them to chew them down. But Sisters of Thorn also are going to dish out a lot of damage in return. Meanwhile, it looks like the Feral Manticore had its attention pulled by the Rusty Errors, and it's going to dive into them. An important target to take out for sure. And this other Manticore over here has done a good job of shutting down the artillery, but as long as they stop routing, they should be able to come back and get back on that artillery later on. Over here, Greenskins taking out the Sisters of Thorn. Slowly but surely, they should be able to win that out, as we have Orc Biggins and Gobbos chasing down these Way Watchers, and now the Way Watchers are actually going to get hit by the Biggins, and this is not where they want to be. Way Watchers are just going to get chopped to pieces by this line of Biggins. Over here, Sisters of Thorn have routed. All of the Greenskin artillery is routing. However, I think it might actually pay off for the Greenskins later on, because both of these Manticores will be used up, and I don't know, I'm still not convinced that they'll get the Hammer of Gork completely off the map, but whatever, we'll go back and check on that in a bit. Over here, still chasing down the Way Watchers. Got some Gobble Wolf Riders coming over here to help as well, and the Wild Riders coming over here to try to help, but I think all the Greenskin mobility here that is coming in and closing the gap should be more than enough to kill these guys off. However, we're going to see the Hero Squad as well as two other Way Watchers sneaking up, and they should be able to do some real good damage to the Greenskin forces if they get shots off in the back. I would love to see these Forest Goblin Spider Riders turn and hit them right now. That would be the ideal target for them. Broken Tusk Mob is going to close the gap there, get on top of the Way Watchers. Goblin Wolf Riders are going to do it over here, and now they're getting those Wild Riders taken care of too. So right now, very well played to both players. The Greenskins are starting to, you know, pull some pieces together here in the late game. Taking care of these two Way Watchers, that Wild Rider will be a huge boon. And then also the Feral Manticore slowly degrading over time should help out. And as I stated earlier, Manticores did a good job taking the artillery offline, but the artillery still exists. So I would hide it and then bring it back to fire in once he sees a good opportunity. But in any case, this is where the battle will be decided, is over here, where we see the majority of the Greenskin troops, as well as these Way Watchers that are remaining. And oh my goodness, the Feral Manticore just really helped the Gobbo Great Shaman. He got Prey of Anathema in place, but that volley completely missed him when the Manticore knocked him back. All right, so keep on going. All right, Goblin Great Shaman getting terror routed by the Manticore, and now the Glade Lords here, and Crusaders gonna withdraw and give Konos the first victory here. So Kono going up 1-0 for that first match. All right, what have I missed in chat? Good target. Love you. All right, so B-Claw, thank you for hosting. Let's go ahead and see what's going on here. You guys both timing out Godwin? What's Godwin doing? If you don't cause drama long enough, maybe I'll make you a mod. But in any case, let's go ahead, take this army blocker off, and get to the battle at hand. Okay, guys? Thank you all for being here. I'm sorry I can't acknowledge all of your complaints in real time, but I have battles to cast. So if you guys have serious concerns, reach out to me offline, you know, in Discord or in Steam, and I will talk to you there. In any case, let's get to this battle at hand, because this is what the chat is here for. We got the Dark Elves, led by Crusader, going to be bringing 4 units of Dark Shards with shields. He's going to have 2 Sisters of Slaughter and 1 Bleak Sword right there. Over here in the forest, he's going to have 3 units of Cold One Knights. These Velociraptor riding pointy ears are going to be in the forest, and they will be supporting a Sorceress of Beast here. There's Transformation of Kadan, and that is all besides the Dark Star Cloak for that extra magic recharge. He's going to have the Slaneshi Harvester's Vanguard deployed right in front of them. And then looking across the field from there, the last unit we have to go over is Morathi herself. Morathi will have Soul Stealer, Power of Darkness, as well as Heartrender in the Dark Sword, Greater Arcane Conduit, Spiteful Conjuration, and Life Leeching. For the Empire, going to be a very mobile army here, and he is going to have what appears to be 2 Flagellants. He's going to have 1, 2, and 3 units of Knights of the Blazing Sun. He's going to have some Pistoliers here. What appears to be 4 Pistoliers and an Outrider that I can see. Yep. And then aside from that, the 3 Blazing Suns. He's going to have the Royal Outdoor Griffites for that anti-large support, a Jade Wizard with Earthblood and Life Bloom, and then he's going to have Balthazar Gelt up in the air with what appears to be Plague of Rust and Transmutation of Lead, along with both of his power abilities, Staff of Allowance and Greater Arcane Conduit. So, let's go ahead and get to it here, guys. Dark Elves are going to be pulling out of this forest almost immediately. Pistoliers are going to be coming forward, and Dark Shards are going to be countering them, shooting out a huge volley, but it's going to mostly miss and fall harmlessly. So a waste of ammunition there from the Dark Elves led by Crusader. Right now, Kono's playing this very, very well. Going to be pulling Balthazar and all of his heroes here into the forest, trying to get a nice surround on the Dark Elves. And as you guys can see, the Empire surrounding them on almost all sides. And the Dark Elves have to be careful because there's a lot of forces down here on the ground that are very susceptible to the Pistolier fire. Morathi is also a Snowball's chance in hell against Morathi in one-on-one combat. She is bonus versus large armor piercing, and I won't be surprised if we see her come to a ton of damage on top of Balthazar at some point in the battle. By the way, her spells are, I already said Soul Stealer, so we will see how this shapes out. Right now, balance of power slightly in favor of the Dark Elves, but obviously at this point in the battle, it doesn't really matter what it says over here. There we go, seeing these Dark Shards fire into the Empire. They have silver shields on them, so the silver shields will negate a ton of the damage from the Pistoliers and such. These guys look kind of goofy. But yeah, just going to be able to dish out a lot of pain. And at the moment, you know, looks like the Empire may not be getting the better of the skirmish fight here. I would have loved some grenade launchers, but we need to remind both players, well, not both players, the Empire that needs to attack. We'll give it another 30 seconds or so. I don't like to call out rule breaks as soon as it starts looking like it's happening. Usually give them like a minute grace period. All right, here we go. Pistoliers are firing in, but man, they are going to just start routing after that shot from the Dark Shards. So really a good pick with the Dark Shards with shields from Crusader here. They are doing quite well. The Pistoliers just can't get any damage through those silver shields. And yeah, in return, you know, they're just not doing well in that skirmish fight whatsoever. The Flagellants, I think, are going to be hard countered by the Sisters of Slaughter. And then the Empire, while they have more cav, it's not like the Dark Elves are hopeless in that department. They have 3 Cold One Riders, plus all these Dark Shards, so Empire looking like they're going to come out of the forest here. Knights of the Blazing Sun pushing out 2. And there we go. We're going to see, what is that, Transmutation of Lead on top of these guys, and I think that's a strange pick. I think he was hoping they would come out here, but now Transmutation of Lead is going to be over here. Not very critical unit currently in the battle. Over here, a big Soul Stealer going down from Marathi on top of these forces, and then we're going to see a Battle Prayer coming down over here from the Battle Pilgrim. Totally forgot to mention the Battle Pilgrim there. Shield of Faith and Hammer of Sigmar on top of him. Over here now, we're going to see the Empire just attacking from all sides, using the Knights of the Blazing Sun to get a lot of work done against this Dark Elf infantry. We're going to see immediately over here the Demogryph Knights diving in, causing some terror to the Cold One Knights. Cold One Knights here definitely getting the better of this engagement with the Knights of the Blazing Sun. We're going to see a summon of a Feral Manticore coming in from the Dark Elves, and that Manticore may be just enough to turn the tide of this battle in favor of the Dark Elves. We have the Demogryph Knights below half health, Sisters of Slaughter in this combat, Marathi in this combat, Cold One Knights, and you know, anybody's battle at this point. Knights of the Blazing Sun continuing to do some mean work with that cycle charge. Murderous prowess being popped for the Dark Elves at this point in the battle, though. And now we have Balthazar diving into the Sorceress of Beast. He needs to be careful, because if these Slaneshi Harvesters turn onto him, they can potentially do a ton of damage, but the Slaneshi Harvesters instead occupying themselves with chasing down the Knights of the Blazing Sun as they try to pull away from that combat. The Feral Manticore diving into Balthazar Gelt right now, trying to help out that Sorcerer. And he's being a cheeky little bugger, but it looks like... Oh, just canceling out that summon from the Sorceress of Beast. Alright, looks like the summon's trying to go down again. And we should see that one come through successfully. Boom, there goes the second Manticore. Balance of power is really shifting in favor of the Dark Elves. And Marathi is duking it out with this Warrior Priest. The Royal Alpha Griffiths are barely hanging on here, taking a ton of damage. And at this point, I think the Dark Elves are just doing too good. The Empire just wasn't able to take care of these Dark Shards quick enough. And as soon as these Dark Shards turn around, it's going to be game over. Balthazar Gelt taking a ton of damage, getting chased by the Feral Manticore. He's actually going to shatter after that. And with that, army losses kick in, and the Dark Elves are going to take that, bringing us to a 1-1 in this best of 3. Flagellants bravely fighting, but all of these scantily clad elf women are going to chop off his arm and end it from there. Alright, 1-1. This is not going to be a blowout, that's for damn sure. These guys seem pretty evenly matched, and well played to Dark Elves there. I had my concerns, but they were able to pull it through. Are you asking me if I'm from France? Because no, I'm not. Yeah, Coney doing well so far, but I mean, that build right there, I think he just wasn't expecting what the Dark Elves brought, because those Pistoliers were hard countered by these Dark Shards with shields. And once the Pistoliers were negated, then it was just, that's 2,000 points put, well, I guess 2,800 points if you count the Outriders, put towards something that really didn't do anything for him in the battle. Like, between all of them, they still got less than 100 kills. So yeah, I don't know. That was just, I think, a battle that was very much decided by the builds. All right, so here we go, guys. Let's remove my ugly mug, throw up the intro card here to the match. High Elves versus Dark Elves, Konos versus Crusader. Here we go, going over our red army first. Crusader has brought the Dark Elves for us, and he is going to be bringing 3 units of Dark Shards with shields. He's going to have 2 Bleak Swords, 2 Sisters of Slaughter. He is then going to have 2 Cold One Knights. Make that 4 Cold One Knights. I like it. He's going to have the Slaaneshi Harvester, the Regiment Renowned Doomfire Warlocks. He's going to get this Reaper Bolt Thrower here for that artillery action. And then, last but certainly not least, for the leader, he's going to have a Supreme Sorceress of Death. She's going to be down on top of a steed, going to be bringing Purple Sun, Spirit Leech, Arcane Conduit, and Life Leeching. Now, going over to our High Elf army, we're going to have 2 units of Lyrian Reaver Archers. He is then going to have a strong forces of infantry, well, small forces of infantry, being 2 white lines of trace. He's going to have a back line consisting of 3 Dragon Princes, one of them being the Fireborn Dragon Princes. He is going to have 2 Nobles, both of them on chariots and naked. And then he's going to have Alariel the Radiant. Not the Fae Enchantress, although I'll probably call her the Fae at some point in the battle because they both are just stupid healers. On top of her Eagle, and she's going to have the Star of Averlorn, Arcane Conduit, Earthblood, Foz Protection with Shieldstone of Isha, Boon Isha, and Shield of Safri and Life Bloom. So, here we go, guys. The battle is underway. High Elf's bringing a very small on top. That is the question. I think these Dark Shards are going to be very key in this battle as they were in the last battle. But yeah, I don't know. I have to say off of initial impressions, I kind of like the Dark Elf army a bit more here. I think the 4 Cold One Knights can do really well. Granted, the Star of Averlorn can always make me eat my words there if she gets a good cast down. But yeah, 4 Cold One Knights should be enough to counter the High Elf Cav. And then I think the Dark Elves will win the infantry fight, not on the backs of their infantry, but because the Dark Shards will be able to shoot down these white lines of trace while they try to close the gap. And then we also have the Bolt Thrower here, which is forcing the High Elves to us. So I don't know. Then again, I totally negate the fact that there's 2 Nobles and Chariots here. So those Nobles and Chariots can very much make these Dark Shards have a very painful experience. Liam Smalley? No, I'll explain it after this battle why he brought Dark Elves again. It's because it's a best of 5 and he only has 2 factions to play with, so Destruction is allowed to bring Greenskins and Dark Elves twice, and then in the ace match is when they get to choose which faction to bring 3 times. So there's only 2 factions in Destruction. So in any case, here it goes. Dragon Prince is charging in those Bleak Swords, doing so much damage. Very nice charge, but they're going to get countered by the Cold One Knights as well. We're diving in to counter that momentum. We're going to see the Bolt Thrower firing in at Alariel. I would like the Bolt Thrower to fire at the Fireborn or another Cav unit, kill those models so Alariel can't heal them up. But now the Nobles are pushing through, Cold One Knights are here, Sisters of Slaughter are diving in, but they're about to get wrecked by some High Elves. And there goes the Star of Averlorn on top of the Fireborn and these white lines of trace. Alariel the Radiant diving in here too. We're going to see the Slaaneshi Harvesters diving in, and then we're going to see a Soul Stealer go down right here. And man, a lot of spells going down here all at once. Soul Stealer should do good work trying to counter the effects of that Star of Averlorn. But now the High Elves are still over here trying to make headway. A big blob of Noble Chariots and Dragon Princes on top of some Cold One Knights. But now we have more Cold One Knights diving in from the other end. More Sisters of Slaughter diving in here too. And then we have these Dark Shards once again dealing with some Missile Cav and once again coming out on the better end of it. These Cold One Knights chasing after these Illyrian Reaver Archers. And now these Illyrian Reaver archers deciding, hey, let's charge in before we get shot to death. Good decision, but it might have come a little bit too late. Over here, Spirit Leech going down on the Fireborn, taking out a lot of models and life from that very, very key point unit from the High Elves here. Earthblood going down from Alarielle the Radiant, trying to counteract some of the damage that has been coming down on her forces. And now Murderous Prowess being popped on top of the Cold One Knights. Right now, this has been a very much just a rush, smash, and grab kind of build. Dark Elves are trying to pull their Dark Shards back to safety and get some fire in. And if the High Elves don't have anything to shut this fire coming in from the Dark Shards, we're about to see a very, very, very painful couple of volleys go off against the High Elves right now. Let's see what they decide to target on. All three of them are in position and are going to begin firing. And it looks like they're just going to kill the Dragon Princes. Just focus on them. Oh, no, just kidding. That's Alarielle taking a ton of damage. Just one volley and already that much damage being done. But the Nobles are coming through here. Going to hit these guys. Cold One Knights are really making it hard for the Nobles to maneuver around on their chariots, though. And now we're just seeing a ton of damage coming in from these Dark Shards. Battle is very, very even right now. But I don't know. We'll see what happens here. The Illyrian Reavers diving in, shutting down the Dark Shards once again. I think the High Elves recognize that if these Dark Shards don't go down, Alarielle could very easily die right now. And Alarielle is going to try to pull up right here, and she should be able to escape with her life. She has hit her healing cap almost, so needs to be very, very careful moving forward in this battle, otherwise the Dark Elves can have their way here. Looks like we're going to be seeing an Earthblood go down, but then a Spirit Leech going down on top of Alarielle the Radiant, and now she is getting chased down by the Supreme Sorceress of Death and the Slaaneshi Harvesters. She's not going to be able to get back up in the air, and that should take care of Alarielle, and without Alarielle, I don't know what the rest of the High Elf forces can do. They have 2 chariots and some cav, but I don't know. Let's take a look around here. We got some Cold One Knights over here rampaging. Cold One Knights actually look like they've been neutralized across the board, so High Elves are not in a helpless position. So even if they lose Alarielle, they'll still have 2 nobles who are relatively healthy, and I think they'll have the cav advantage at this stage in the battle. They still have, the Dark Elves still have 1 Cold One Knight, but other than that, most of the Cold One Knights are off the field, and these nobles are just going to start running train through all of this Dark Elf infantry. So, man, guys, this is coming down the wire. Alarielle the Radiant is dead. Slaaneshi Harvesters and the Supreme Sorcerer of Death are coming back this direction. But, I mean, it's going to be a lot of Spirit Leeches needed here to kill off the 3 cav units that are left and the 2 nobles. If it was Marathi, I would say this is game over, period, just because her bonus versus large means she could probably solo everybody else on this map, but Supreme Sorceress of Death, I think this can go either way still. Here we go, Cold One Knights diving in, hitting the Dragon Princes. The White Lands of Trace starting to rout from the Sisters of Slaughter. Supreme Sorceress on top of the Noble, going to get a Spirit Leech on him. Illyrian Reaver Archers diving in to help support, but just don't think they're going to have enough punch to deal with it. And over here now, the next Noble is diving in. Konos desperately trying to get some damage onto these Dark Elf forces, but yeah, that killing Alarielle was really what sealed the fate, I think, of the High Elves here. Because if there was some healing right now, these Nobles wouldn't need to be worried about much. They're still pretty far away from their healing cap. But I don't know. Just as soon as Alarielle was taken out, it became a much more difficult battle, and the Spirit Leeches are going to probably be just enough to take care of any other High Elf forces. And looking around here, we've seen some rallying forces from the High Elves, but these guys have 9 models and 483 hit points. They're going to be next to useless, and I think at this point we're just going to see a GG as the Dark Elves continue to wear down our High Elf forces, and we're going to see a 2-1 lead for Crusader as we go into the 4th battle of this best of 5. Got these Dark Shards starting to fire in now, doing just a tad of damage. I don't know, man. There's a lot of units on the Dark Elf side that are just so close to routing. You know, who knows? Maybe our High Elf player Konos could bring this back, and I'll be eating my words, because, I mean, looking around the battlefield, what's left? We got these Dark Shards who can be taken care of even by Illyrian Reavers. We have a Noble. But yeah, the Spirit Leeches are just going to be too strong. The recharge rate on them is really low, especially with Life Leeching, which as an ability decreases the recharge rate anyways. And yeah, army losses are going to kick in. That Noble's not going to be willing to take the damage, and that's going to be a GG to the Dark Elves. Why can you kill women in this game? Yeah, balance bar is just part of the army losses calculation. I don't know if he did use the second star tank. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Alariel got killed before the second star could go off, because that very much was going in favor of the High Elves, but I think as soon as she got routed off, killed by those Dark Shards and the Supreme Sorcerers of Death, it was game over from there. But nonetheless, another great game between these two players. And Crusader, let's see if he keeps the momentum up and runs in a 3-1 fashion, or if Konos is going to come back and bring this to an ace matchup. I mean, Crusader does need to bring Greenskins this next match. In the ace match, you can pick between either of the two. But Konos obviously has a lot more faction picks he can bring here, but he can't bring Wood Elves. So without Wood Elves, we'll see. So let's throw up that army blocker, get my face back up on the stream, boop, and see how it goes. All that stuff. Wow, quick math. Did FFA tourney not pan out? No, Roasted Oak. This was supposed to be the free-for-all tourney, but I had a lot of family stuff come up on the weekend, and I just didn't have time to plan it and think about a free-for-all tournament. And I know free-for-all tournaments can turn into a huge clusterfuck if you don't have it well planned. So I decided just to go with a 1v1 tournament this weekend. Sorry. Oh god, what is this map? Yes, this map is tourney legal because it's pretty balanced for both players. I just hate that water in the center. It looks like shit. But in any case, let's go with our red player first. Crusader trying to win this best-of-5 series in a 3-1 fashion. He has his Greenskins on the field with 2 Gobbo Rock Lobbers. He's going to have 2 Doomdiver Catapults. He is then going to have 2 Black Orcs up front, as well as 2 more in the back, bringing it to a total of 4 Black Orcs. And then aside from that, we're going to have 2 Nasty Skulkers here, make that 3. He loves those Nasty Skulkers and Doomdiver Catapults. I love it. Aside from that, he will go ahead and have Mogrim's Mangy Marauders there as a skirmishing force. And Greenskin box, you don't normally see this. And then we're also going to have Azag the Slaughterer on foot. He's going to have Long, Foe Seeker, Spirit Leech, get on with it, as well as Life Leeching. And also, he's got his Poison banner here. There's that Spider banner. So he's got the constant imbuement of poison. Now, other than that, we also have, where did that shaman go? Yeah, little Night Goblin Shaman here. Night Goblin Shaman will have Wand of Jet, as well as Medictive Glare, Sneaky Stabbing, and Sneaky Stealing. For the High Elves, oh man, what a spread out High Elf army we have here. We're going to have 1, 2 units of Silver Helms. Make that 3 units of Silver Helms, I think. Yeah, 3 Silver Helms. He's going to have an Illyrian 3 Illyrian Reaver Archers. He's going to have 2 Nobles. Both of them are going to be on... Wait, no, so one's going to be up in the air on an Eagle, and the other one will be down on the ground on a Chariot. He's going to have a couple Shadow Warriors again, so 1, 2... Yeah, 2 Shadow Warriors. He's going to have a Sun Dragon up in the air, and then last but... Wait a minute. Yeah, 2 Shadow Warriors. And last but certainly not least, we're going to have our Lord here, who will be Alariel the Radiant on a horse this time around. She's going to have Star of Averlorn, Arcane Conduit, Tempest, along with Earthblood, Faw's Protection, Shield of Sapphire, and Life Bloom. Tempest clearly not going to come into use here because the Greenskins did decide to go with an all-ground force. I think I'm okay with that pick against High Elves, especially because Tempest and stuff has been so popular lately and can really put a wrench in your Greenskin plans. Over here, we're going to see our Rock Lobbers and Doomdiver Catapults begin to try firing into the Missile Cav. And, I'm curious to see how this goes. Right now, the High Elves looking like they're going to take their sweet time, completely surround the Greenskins. And then the Greenskins say, hey, we're going to sit here and just throw rocks and gobbos with wings attached to them at all of your guys. And, man, oh, man, do those Doomdivers do some mean damage. Okay, Noble's continuing to fly over. I guess he's just trying to scout, see what's going on, maybe draw out some poor fire from the Greenskins. Shadow Warriors are over here trying to shut down the artillery pieces. Lyrian Reavers back here are going to be firing into High Elves, very much not wanting to get in melee combat with the Greenskins. Deciding to go for a very kite build with some cycle charging cav and a Star Dragon up in the air. But honestly, I think if he doesn't, I mean, yeah, if he's relying on the Illyrian Reaver archers to get the damage done to the artillery, he may not get it done quickly enough. And artillery right now is going to continue firing into his Shadow Warriors. But boom, Vintage Glare going down on the Noble. These Shadow Warriors are going to start getting shot by the artillery pieces. Here comes some Silver Helms for a nice side charge into these Black Orcs. Black Orcs don't like getting charged. They can do some mean work to Cav, but with a Noble on a Chariot and some Silver Helms in the mix, that's going to do quite a lot of damage. Star Dragon doing a big breath here, and oh my goodness, the Rusty Arrows going down to next to no health. That's Sun Dragon doing quite a lot of work. And now it's diving into the Gabo Shaman, and it can do a lot of work here. I mean, I have to say I'm a bit concerned for the Greenskin forces right now, as it seems that the High Elves are just doing a good job of breaking these forces apart. We're going to see one of the Silver Helms taking quite a lot of damage. But the Shadow Warriors are still healthy. The Sun Dragon is still very healthy. And if he can't deal with the Sun Dragon, I think the Sun Dragon is just going to set the pace of this battle. Deal with the artillery, deal with the heroes and lords. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Right now we see a wall getting popped. And all of the Greenskin forces are trying to dive through here, do some good damage. But I mean, right now this is kind of a hard battle to get a read on. It seems like the High Elves are doing a great job of pulling the Greenskins apart and chasing out key units. And Max, thank you so much for the follow, my friend. I do appreciate it very much. But yeah, the wall will continue to be popped. The Greenskins are desperately trying to go in all directions, and I think this is the problem when you bring an all infantry-based army. You're completely at the mercy of your opponent. So even though if like it was a big old engagement, the Greenskins would clearly win because the Black Orcs could carry them and kill everything in the High Elf army. The High Elf army isn't required to dive in and just attack your Black Orcs. So instead, what you're going to see happen is exactly this. Night Goblin Shaman gets chased out by the Noble and the Sun Dragon, gets chased off the map and killed. We're going to see over here the Rusty Arrows, one breath, getting chased off and killed. Gabo Rocklobber getting routed, chased off the map and killed. Until eventually, everything in the center is probably just going to be Black Orcs. Right now, Sun Dragon is diving in. Got a Spirit Leech on top of it from Azag. Azag doing some good work there. Cool, Keith. Thank you for the follow, man. I appreciate it greatly. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Over here, though, Black Orcs getting singled out, getting very much separated from the rest of the army. And as cool as Black Orcs are, it's just they can't win a battle by themselves. Star of Avalon going down here. Going to heal everybody back up. And the Black Orcs are going to start to waver and rout. While up here, another Doom Diver going down. And this is the final two pieces of artillery for the Greenskins. So, got Goblobber, Doom Diver Catapult still online, but other than that, he's doing a great job. These Shadow Warriors and Lyrian Reavers are taking out the nasty Skulkers, taking out all of the units that are threatening to the High Elves in terms of being able to immobilize any of their units, because right now, Black Orcs are only going to be useful if you can immobilize the High Elf forces. The only way he'll do that is with Smoke Bomb. There's a couple other ways to do it with Greenskins, like Effigy to get and the Tormentor Sword on a Night Goblin Warboss, but right now the only tool he has to immobilize the High Elves are these nasty Skulkers, and there's only one of them left. And the High Elf player is very smartly chosen to snipe down the other nasty Skulkers and is now chasing them off the map. So once these nasty Skulkers are dead, there's really nothing to prevent the High Elves from just diving in with their Dragons and Chariots, pulling out, diving in, pulling out, and leaving their cav in combat with the Shadow Warriors, so they fulfill the attacking role. Noble diving in here. Why did he make that decision? Is there a Star Dragon coming in for a breath right now? Because this dragon, I mean, the Noble just got netted super hard. Big breath going down over here, but this Noble just dived in for no reason. It's getting Spirit Leech, got a Smoke Bomb, and is taking so much damage, but he still Just look at that, guys. No mobility, no Forest Goblin Spider Riders. Even with the Smoke Bomb, this Noble can pull out of combat. And that's why you need mass. Here we go. Got Silver Helms diving uphill, trying to get some damage done to these Black Orcs. And right now, it looks like Crusader is just desperately trying to keep these guys alive, keep them together, keep Azag in the center so he can't get sniped out, and so he can give leadership buffs to the units around him. Because he does have that get on with it, which gives +8 leadership, making these Black Orcs and everybody very tanky indeed. But okay, here we go. Is that a Smoke Bomb? Ooh, a Smoke Bomb being popped right now. I guess he didn't use it before. And now all these Black Orcs are diving in, and they're going to do a lot of damage here, but is it going to be enough, chat? That is the question. And right now, Terror kicking in on the nasty Skulkers and such. We have Silver Helms, Lyran Reaver Archers diving in. The Sun Dragon was looking worse for wear, but that part of Avalon came in right on time. And now the Black Orcs look like they're starting to get worn down. We're going to see a shatter there. These Black Orcs are low on leadership. All of the leadership on the Black Orcs is below half health. And I'm pretty sure as soon as Azag the Slaughterer starts taking some damage, these Black Orcs will rout quite readily, and we're going to see this battle going into an ace match. Armor piercing on Shadow Warriors is negligible at 4. So yeah. There we go, guys. We got an ace match. Restart stream. What's going on, Cool Keith? Did I mess something up? Is my stream down? So, looking at the post-battle here. Oh, it's fine? All right, cool. All okay with stream? Thank you. Very surprised he lost. Thought he had no chance without any proper infantry to break the lines. Well, that's the thing, man. You don't need infantry to break infantry. In this battle, you saw a perfect example of the Hawk and the Tarantula, right? Tarantula, if it gets in combat, can bite him, get the venom in, can keep the Hawk on the ground and kill it, but the Hawk just gets to fly in whenever it wants. I don't know why the analogy is the Hawk and the Tarantula, because I figured a Hawk would kill a Tarantula every time. But in any case, yeah, looking at the battle right here, that's pretty much what happened. You just had all of the mobility in one player's side, which was the High Elves. There was no mobility besides Mogram's Mangy Marauders over here for the Greenskins, and as such, the High Elves got to choose every engagement they wanted. They had missiles to satisfy the attacking rule, while they patiently surrounded the Greenskins, cycle charged in and out, got great breaths on the Sun Dragon, good charges on the Chariot with the Noble, and then this Noble on the Hawk was doing a great job of diving in, chasing out the Night Goblin Shaman, and, this army is exactly what Crusader's army did not want to face. Simple as that. This army just needed something, anything to help counter the excessive mobility over here. A couple Forest Goblin Spider Riders, something, and I think you would have had a lot easier time in that matchup. But great games all around. Let's throw up that army blocker as we get into the final ace match in this best of 5. All right, so final map will be like Fat Girls No Mobility. You get, all right, let's see. I think Crusader didn't micro as well as he did in previous games. That's a fair point. All right, everybody. Screw it. I'm going to keep this music up until the battle starts. So here we go. Looking at the Dark Elf forces being brought by Crusader. We're going to have 5 units of Bleak Swords, 3 units of Dread Spears, 3 units of Blackheart Crusaders with Hambos. He's going to have 2 units of Cold One Knights. He's going to have 1 Dark Rider with Shields. He's going to have this Laneshi Harvester here, being the Regiment Renowned Doomfire Warlock. He is going to have for a Hero Squad a Sorceress of Beast with Transformation of Kadan, and then Marathi up here with Soul Stealer. Now, for the Wood Elves, we have a pretty big army. The Wood Elf army will be brought by Konos, will have 4 units of Eternal Guard. He is going to also have a unit of Wildwood Rangers backing them up. Over here, he is going to have a War Dancer with Azrai Spears, to support 2 Wild Riders, as well as 2 Way Watchers and 1 Deepwood Scout with Swift Shiver Shards. For his leadership, he will have a Branch Wraith over here, bringing a Scroll of Shielding, Melkoth, Mystify Miasma, Earth Blood, as well as Call of the Wood, which gives that plus melee attack. And then he is also going to have up here the Glade Lord with Prey of Anathrema on top of her Forest Dragon. So here we go, everybody. The battle is beginning. I'm really enjoying this music. So here we go, guys. Both players deploying pretty far apart from each other and reforming. Looks like the Dark Elves are going to try to focus on sealing this entrance off and protecting the right flank right there. Alright, so here we go, guys. Battle's beginning. We're going to see the Forest Dragon coming out here, firing some rounds into these Blackheart Corsairs, killing off a couple models. And then you're going to pull out there after some initial scouting. Wild Riders over here being pushed forward. They are hidden, staying below the lip of this big hill. And we'll see if they can stay hidden as they try to approach from behind these Dark Elf forces. Right now, those guys are going to get hit by the Wild Riders and then pulled out just as quickly as that. Wild Riders also going to be trying to come over here and do some damage, but now they may start getting shot by the Blackheart Corsairs. And they're going to take a touch of damage, but overall, not, getting some decent damage done against these guys. And that breath, oh no. Want to make sure you're patient with those breaths, because that breath was wasted, barely doing any damage. And that breath could have probably wiped out a single unit if you saved it for the right moment. Here it looks like we're going to see a Feral Manticore summon. Sure are. Dark Elves summoning it early, and we're going to see all of the Wood Elf archers here. And now the Dark Elves are going to form up in a big wide line and start pushing forward, trying to flush these Wood Elves out of the forest. However, if he fights them in the forest, they will be at an advantage. Over here, Wild Riders hugging the edge of the forest here, still staying hidden, but not moving forward. There's Cold One Knights right there. A very smart move on our Wood Elf player's part. Over here, we're going to see all of these archers hit the Feral Manticore. Feral Manticore is immediately going to rampage and then dive into combat against Eternal Guard and Wild Riders. The Forest Dragon, the Glade Lord, the Wild Riders, everything's going to hit him right now and just completely smash that Manticore. Eternal Guard should probably charge forward. The Dread Spears look like they're going to get a nice charge into the side of them as they are too absorbed hitting the Manticore. Right now, the rest of the Dark Elf forces that are diving forward want to be in. We are now going to see all of the Wood Elf archers firing in a Prey of Anathrema on top of the Sorceress Beast. She's going to try and summon that second Manticore as quickly as possible, recognizing the very real potential for getting sniped right now. And if she gets sniped, then at least she's already used all of her magic, so now that Sorceress Beast is a very poor target to be targeting because there's nothing else it can do for the rest of this fight. Over here, Cold One Knights being pulled back to zone these Wild Riders out. Wild Riders do not want to fight against Cold One Knights. They will lose that 10 out of 10 times. We're going to see a big Soul Stealer coming down here, but okay, got on top of the Glade Lord as well. Now this Feral Manticore also rampaging and duking it out with the Glade Lord up in the air. It's going to be taking a ton of damage. Glade Lord diving over here and kill some Dark Riders with Silver Shields. Wild Riders are in combat there, but Murderous Prowess has just been popped, and now the Dark Elves, it's their turn to start bringing the pain to the high Wood Elves. We'll see here Terror kicking in for both the Dark Elf and the Wood Elf Cav forces here, as the Glade Lord dukes it out with the Sineshi Harvesters and the Feral Manticore. Right now, the saving grace may very well be these missiles, who are doing a ton of damage to all these guys, but there's Bleak Swords diving into them too, as well as these Blackheart Corsairs with handbows, and right now it's anybody's game. Very curious to see how this all pans out, but Wood Elf forces here, very capable of sniping down the Dark Elf leadership. But now we're going to see Morathi diving after this Glade Lord. She is armor piercing, bonus versus large. He's routing, got a Soul Stealer on top of him, and I don't think that Wood Elf Dragon is going to be able to pull out of this. Oh man, big hit from Morathi, and now that the Glade Lord is dead, I think it's going to be a downhill battle from here. And look at this. All of these Cold One Knights and Bleak Swords diving after these Way Watchers. A Manticore going at them too. And it looks like the Dark Elves are just going to start snowballing this battle in their favor. However, over on this flank, the Wood Elves have come out on top in some of these infantry engagements with the Branch Wraith. We'll see if he can try to regroup and put some stuff back together here. But without his ranged units, without his Lord, that's going to be a game, and Konos is actually going to concede defeat and allow Crusader to win that. So Crusader is our champion here, winning this 3-2 against the very honorable and worthy foe, Konos. And you guys, everybody talking about how much disadvantage Destruction was at. We just saw Dark Elves and Greenskins win the entire tournament. So this entire tournament, Crusader has brought nothing but Dark Elves and Greenskins, and he has won. Great games to Konos, great games to Crusader, and thank you all for being here. I had a good time this tournament. Didn't go without any hiccups. You know, we had a few bumps in the road, but overall, I think it was a good time. So I hope you guys had a good time.